Welcome to Wisdom for Wannabes, the podcast that seeks wise words in business, beauty, and betterment. I'm the host, Jackie Moriali. Today, I am thrilled to welcome Nani Sahra Walker, an Academy Award-winning producer whose work spans film, journalism, and inspiring others to embrace their own power and purpose. Her latest project, Shakti, is a powerful film that explores resilience, transformation, and the strength that exists within all of us. The film is now available to stream for free on platforms including Tubi and Fossum, making its message accessible to audiences everywhere. The film is also available to rent or buy on Prime Video. Nani's journey reminds us that sometimes our greatest work comes from listening to our inner voice, taking risks, and using our creativity to make a difference. Nani Sahra Walker, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Jackie. It's really great to be here.
I'm so grateful to learn from you today. For those of us who may be meeting you for the first time, can you tell us your full name, where you're from, and a little bit about what you do?
My name is Nani Sahra Walker, and I'm a writer, director, producer, originally from Kathmandu, Nepal, and now based in Los Angeles, California. I came to filmmaking through journalism. That was my career for quite a while. Then stepped into making my first feature film some years ago, and here we are with Shakti.
You've gone from journalism to filmmaking. What is the favorite part of your role that you do now as a writer, director, producer?
I love being able to inspire people, but also tell stories and see the impact that they are able to have. Working in journalism, it's such a fast moving environment. It's hard to see that in a setting per se. With film, I've been able to see that impact firsthand when I go to festivals, for instance. People come up to me and are just so happy that I've made this film. It's a difficult film, and for that much encouragement and recognition around the film, it's been incredible on the receiving end. Grown men crying with me and people of all ages coming to me and sharing really intimate details of their lives. Also, those who are excited about creating change and saying, this film has allowed me to think about what I can do in my life. What can I change in my own life, in my personal life? Sometimes trying to change a bigger system, it starts with small acts of change on a personal level.
How amazing is that you've written, directed, produced this film, Shakti, that is empowering people around the world? Was there a moment in your life when you realized that storytelling was your calling, whether through journalism or filmmaking?
I'd always been doing something creative growing up, photography, poetry, painting, and theater, always doing something creative. But I think this film and the moment that I stepped into making a feature-length narrative fiction film came through years of working in journalism and in documentary and investigative stories. It was about listening to people's stories and documenting and putting that either on video or on the page. With Shakti, I realized that there are some limitations. Like this particular story was set in the past. It's set in 2014 when the statute of limitation is still 35 days. That was really the crux of the film. I wanted it to be centered around this idea of the 35 days statute of limitations being so restrictive. I realized this is an opportunity to write fiction and to draw from my documentary and investigative journalism background, but in a fiction format.
Was there a certain day since then when it was absolved?
In 2015, it was increased to a year, and since then to 2 years, but it's still extremely restrictive. If you look around the world, it's in the double digits. We're still working on that and recognizing that survivors do not speak about their trauma until an average age of 53 years old in the US. People are holding on to these stories for an entire lifetime. I think we need to create space and understand that the legal system as well needs to understand that there needs to be room for survivors to come out later in life.
You've worn so many hats. It sounds like you have a full understanding of the legal system as well. Let me add that to the list. Producer, creator, storyteller, director, writer. Which role has taught you the most about yourself?
I think probably directing. For one, there aren't a lot of opportunities to direct on a daily basis. Many times I'm wearing multiple hats. Producing is one hat I wear a lot, almost out of necessity. As an independent filmmaker, I am my own producer the beginning. Then in that moment of really directing a project, bringing together hundreds of people to believe in a vision and to give them room to collaborate. We're all in this together. It's such a rewarding experience. It's something that excites me. It also challenged me. I look forward to doing more of. I directed for 35 days, and not 35 days just on the shoot days, because really you're taking the project from beginning to end. It's a 5-year project where the director keeps that together and makes sure that from beginning to end, it's one focused place. I love that. It's like a meditation. It's about keeping the focus, perseverance, dealing with all the rejection and not being taken over by the rejection as a way of other people giving you approval or not. Recognition when it comes is wonderful, but staying really focused and grounded and making sure we see our projects through no matter what.
The meditation, the focus, the balance that you must have endured for these 5 years. You came out with this beautiful film. Congratulations. Thank you for sparking these conversations and your willingness to put in the hard work. Let's take it a little bit lighter and get to know you, Nani, a little bit better. First of all, are you a coffee or tea drinker? Tea. Any particular kind of tea?
Right now it's summer. I don't drink tea in the summer. I mostly just do water, hydrate. I'm a non-caffeinated person. I love Tulsi tea. It's stress relief, herbal tea.
Book or movie?
That's tough. If I had to choose, movie.
New York or Los Angeles?
Oof, there are going to be some people upset.
Without making anyone angry.
Yeah. Well, including my younger self, because I always thought that I was very much a New York person. When I graduated college, I was like, I'm going to New York, never LA. Then here I am in LA, and I will have to say it's LA.
It's LA. The heat wins out. I am a New Yorker at heart, but I get it. It's beautiful in LA. A movie that everyone should watch. Clearly, Shakti's at the top of the list, but a second runner up to Shakti.
This is always the hardest question for a filmmaker. How could you choose one film? There are thousands. I would go with some of the classics. I just love Kurosawa's Ikiru. It touches on being human, and it's something that sticks with you after you watch it. It'll stay with you for the rest of your life. In terms of American, Sunset Boulevard is just so well written and embracing change. It's actually quite relevant right now with all the change in technology and in the film industry. I would say the pinnacle of American filmmaking. Then I guess I'll choose Pasolini's Mamma Roma as a film that really stuck with me about a single mom and the grittier side of Rome and people who are marginalized. That's something that really speaks to me.
One word that describes you.
Curious. That has led me to journalism and documentary filmmaking, being curious about other people's lives and what's happening, living as somebody in a place that is other than my own.
That has to be my favorite attribute to anyone. Being curious to learn, curious to do, curious about why things are happening. Favorite place to recharge?
Mountains and seaside, both. I have a hard time choosing between those two. I'm going to be going to Nepal in a couple of weeks. Over the past 5 years when I was making my film, there's no time to go out into the mountains and into the wild. I love that. That's where I recharge. The strenuous hiking, you face limitations and the beliefs that we have. We're like, no, I can't go on any further. But it's like, yes, you can. Just one step. It's very similar to making films. A lot of times you're like, all right, I've had enough. Keeping your momentum going and not backing down. I also love floating in a sea, a warm sea in the Mediterranean.
Equally beautiful and meditative in their own way. Biggest risk that you've ever taken? It could be hiking.
Hikes. No, I'd say professionally, it is making Shakti. I left a kind of comfortable journalism job. That was a big risk. I'm so happy I took it. I think listening to your own voice, listening to your intuition, that was something that changed my life. Working on documentaries, a lot of it was listening to other stories. I wasn't listening to my own. When I started doing that, an important shift happened.
If you were not filmmaking, what career would you be pursuing?
I've always had this fascination with medicine, probably something in the healing arts, some kind of medical profession.
It heals something to watch your films for sure. A quote that you live by?
In my 20s, I loved this quote. You must have chaos in yourself to give birth to a dancing star. Nietzsche had said that we have to embrace all aspects of ourselves. Passion can be fueled by so many different things. We're always looking for order or the final result and those kind of things. But it comes from embracing all aspects of ourselves and being okay with that. If you keep practicing, that practice is the path. My first production company was called Dancing Star Films, based on that quote.
Embracing your shadow, not just your light. Yeah, it's Shakti.
Being able to embrace all aspects of ourselves, that's a big motto in my life.
I see that in the character that you wrote, the young girl. She just has such a zest for life. I love that. One item that you could never travel without.
Camera, but also notebook. That's really hard to do. That's what I love about film is that you can bring together writing and pictures.
3 words that describe your film, Shakti.
Resilient, fierce, and tender.
Very different words. That's the film. Everybody has to go on Tubi, Awesome, and Prime Video and go watch it for yourselves. Let's talk more about Shakti. What inspired you to create Shakti?
This was a film that came from multiple places within me. For one, it was 2020, the world had shut down. On the cusp of that, late 2019, I had read about 35-day statute of limitation being in effect in Nepal until 2015. I was shocked. How can this be? I grew up in Nepal. I am a survivor. I felt like that's something that absolutely has to be talked about and has to be changed. At the time, there were other films that were very inspiring to me and other people in the industry that were really speaking out. This was way post Me Too. But still, stories coming out. One story in particular that really moved me was Adele Hanel, who's a French actor, came out and spoke out against the violence and abuse that she had endured by a director when she was a child actor. I just found that so courageous. I was like, wow, in your own industry and to call out somebody who's in a place of power, that energy of somebody else doing that really fueled me as well. And learning about this 35 days, then suddenly the world shut down and COVID times. There was a lot of time on our hands. Friends were baking. Everybody had a hobby. I said, I want to finish the script that I started. It's like the universe had given me this time and space to be able to focus.
Thank you for sharing about COVID. I love that this was your baking project. Why is this story, Shakti, for us to watch right now?
Shakti is really important right now because we have so much going on in the media. Jeffrey Epstein files that are being covered up. Survivors' voices are coming out. Being able to tap into this one family's story puts you in an emotional journey. It's such an important time to tap into that emotional connection, which I think can inspire you to go out and make change or to do something in your own life. I hope that more people can experience that kind of change and transformation.
I agree that survivors' voices are coming forward and you are inspiring and empowering people. Let's talk more about the word Shakti. What does it represent to you? It could be in this movie or to you personally.
Shakti means feminine power and creative energy. It's like the yin and yang in the Far Eastern traditions. In the South Asian traditions, there's Shiva Shakti, at least in the Hindu tradition. It's the male energy and the female energy. And I think what's happened so much in our societies and in our lives is that they're separated, then they're placed on a hierarchy, and one is given much more importance. For me, Shakti is about reclaiming the space and bringing back respect for the feminine power, which is incredible. Everybody is born from a mother. Every single human being would not be here without that feminine power. That's also what the young girl is coming into terms with her own power.
The 3 women are so beautiful together as this family unit. These strong female characters embody Shakti energy. So how do you hope your viewers feel when they've watched your film, when the credits are rolling?
Empowered, wanting to go out and make a change. There's really no scale, anything where we can reflect and reckon with ourselves and make just the slightest change. We can do so much better. Shaman scene. It's the first scene that I wrote when I wrote the screenplay. It was the scene where healing happens. People during the festival tour have asked me about the religious significance. Am I placing more significance onto the religion or not? It's really not about the religion or the belief. It's about creating a space for healing that can be done anywhere. And unfortunately, in a lot of our very structured systems, there's not much space for healing. We need to create more of that. The healing doesn't happen in a hospital. There's some really good people there. And I think some of the caring characters come from the workplace, but it didn't happen there because we have also created this hierarchy of real medicine and what is not. There's so much ancient wisdom and healing practices. I wanted to give a shout out to those ancient healing practices because it's equally important. We need to create a world where things are more integrated and we respect each other, even when there is a difference in approach.
And everyone's healing looks different.
Yes.
Were there any unexpected lessons that emerged for you from making this film?
We do fail sometimes, and it's okay. There's so much learning that happens. Being able to pick yourself up and say, that's not what defines me. The belief and the ability to keep moving. This rejection didn't mean anything in the grand scheme of things, actually created path to something that was meant for me.
You're such an inspiration. Even on those days where not everything goes the right way, you're making such change and difference in the world. Thank you for that. What conversations do you hope that your film Shakti sparks among your audiences?
I'd love for people to talk about how we can create a world that is safer for future generations, for ourselves. What's the world that we want to live in? Those are those conversations, and it is intersectional with Shakti, the caste system. Sparking conversations around that in the South Asian community is so important. Often set to the side, it's the elephant in the room, but it's important to talk about because it exists. Have these conversations on multiple levels, whether it's from a psychological or spiritual level or social levels.
And it's projects like this that are doing that. I absolutely appreciate that conversation. I'm so glad that we're carrying it forward. If somebody only remembers one message from your film, what would it be?
Don't give up.
You're gonna make me cry, Nani. It's so beautiful. Anyway, why is it so important to make this film available on free streaming platforms like Tubi and Fossum?
I want as many people to watch the film as possible. Festivals are great. They're such a wonderful place to connect with people and see that impact firsthand. But the reach is pretty limited. Having it available on a streaming platform increases that reach. I appreciate you so much because I think your audience is an audience that maybe didn't know about Shakti and will be able to go and watch the film. This is what's exciting to me, finding unexpected people who might watch the film and be inspired by it.
Everybody out there needs to go see Shakti. It's an incredible film. It'll make you feel things. So let's talk more about your filmmaking prowess. Oh my gosh, you received this Oscar as co-executive producer for The Last Repair Shop in the Best Documentary Film category at the 96th Academy Awards in 2024. This really happened to you 2 years ago. It's incredible. What does that mean to you?
It was incredible news. It was very exhilarating. I was already in the process of making Shakti, and I was like, it's really important. Keep going. It takes time to make films. So many life events happen. I consider as one of the other life events that happened in the time of making Shakti. It really did give me that belief that I have to keep going. When I first saw that cut come to my desk, this was 2 or 3 years before we won the Oscar. That's a short film. If that took that long with Shakti, it was like, all right, keep going. This is more momentum.
Congratulations. Did achieving such a prestigious milestone change your perspective on success?
Recognition is nice, but at the same time, it's not the final idea of success for me. Success with Shakti, for instance, is really seeing that impact. Adults coming to me in tears, fathers running to me after seeing the film saying, I want to do something because I have a daughter. Those are the moments that feel like real success, where the film has connected so deeply with one individual, or they open up about their own lives and things that maybe they haven't shared with anybody in decades. Success, because I know that it's touching people, it's moving people. It's now no longer in my hands. It's worth it for those moments.
Speaking about all the stuff that led up to this, was there a challenge or a setback that ultimately became one of your greatest teachers when you look back at the film Shakti?
We had applied for funding and various things. We did get some grants, but not all. Again, that sense of embracing the rejection as part of the process was the biggest lesson. The moment I embraced that, other doors opened. We found this entrepreneur who wanted to invest in the film. He was from the Dalit community. He believed in the project. He and his wife said, absolutely, we're on board. That was the moment. It was giving myself the permission rather than seeking the permission from some institution or some other power, basically giving your power away to somebody else to make your film, saying, I can still do this, staying on the path and not allowing anybody else's approval to be the final say. That's why independent filmmaking is the place I want to be. There are a lot of incredible collaborators and supporters of the film. Not any one person made the film. This is truly a collective effort.
Shout out to those entrepreneurs, the husband and wife team. If only the world had more angels like you in it, right? To take your power, to get your story out.
Yes.
Looking back, what advice would you give to your prior self?
Don't wait for permission from anybody. We've set up every industry where these are the powerhouses. And if you have permission from them, or if you have a tick from them, then you're set. It doesn't require that. It's all about you. Truly independent filmmaking is reclaiming that back in your own hands and telling the stories. We need more independent voices. If you look at film and television right now, so much of the writing sounds the same. Many characters look the same. Everything is just becoming one homogenous voice. Excited for new voices.
The movie industry, it's been pretty much the same thing for 100 years. The same big movie houses, the same big studios. Independent filmmakers like you are changing the whole industry, changing the future of film. I applaud you and thank you for what you're doing. I know it's not easy. You make it look easy. Let's talk about the word wannabe, because I want to be more like you. Everything that you're doing creatively is so inspiring to me. What is one thing that every creative wannabe, whether it's journalist wannabe, filmmaker wannabe, writing wannabe, producing wannabe, can start doing today to take that first step?
I'm inspired by you too. You wanted to do this podcast and you're doing it. You built this incredible audience and have such interesting people coming on. It's like that, just doing the work. And we have to start somewhere. If it's writing that you want to do or making films, doing the work and practicing the path that you want to do. Stop looking outside for external approval. Once we click in to that internal system, the path's open and the door's open, everything works out. Trusting the process, that's so important. It's hard to see if we can trust in the process, then things do work out. They have for thousands of years for people who've been creating.
So hard to let go and trust the process, though. But yes, I agree wholeheartedly. Thank you for the shout out to my podcast. It's because of people like you that we've been able to build this audience. Any shout outs to people who are doing great things in the field today or who have helped you to get where you are on your path today?
There are a lot of amazing independent filmmakers out there, and I won't name everybody. I love the independent route. Brings that power back to us. It doesn't crumble because of external events. In terms of shout outs with Shakti, there's so many people I would love to thank, including my entire cast and crew. I couldn't have made this film without every single one of them. We're talking about hundreds of people. I can't name them all. I mentioned Lakshmi earlier. Menuka Pradhan is the other lead who plays the sister or aunt. She's coming to LA from Nepal. It's really exciting. We have this awards presentation. She's going to be here with me for that. I'm really excited to share that moment with her. Then Paulina Oli, the child actor, just so grateful for her. She's incredibly talented and hardworking, so committed to the craft. And all of the other actors and crew members, my DP Keiko Nakahara was 7.5 months pregnant filming Shakti. I always want to shed light on that.
Didn't watch all the way to the end of the credits. Do you have Shakti babies at the end?
That's a credit I need to add, actually, because there have been multiple Shakti babies.
Great.
Yes. My production designer and producer, Candy Gutierrez, who's just such an important collaborator on this project. My partner and producer, Ida Soni, was with me from the very beginning. We share so much more than this film, but it's so important. And my entire family that's been incredibly supportive of this process, leaving a somewhat more stable job and saying, I'm going to go make my film. This is what I want to do. They've just been like, yes, that's amazing. Now my mom shares with everybody, her friends, her community, everyone, go watch Shakti. We got to go to the TIFF Lightbox in Toronto. My mom, my brother, sister-in-law, and kids, we went to go watch the film there. My dad, who lives lives in Japan has been putting it on a local listserv there. Go watch Shakti to his friends. The support that I have, it's really incredible. Then my mentors as well. I've had incredible mentors in this process. John McCutcheon, who was at the LA Times, he was heading the whole visual departments there. He allowed me to go on a film leave when I was working full time at the LA Times. Without his support, I wouldn't have been able to make the film, or it would have been delayed. I always want to give props to people who are supportive of creative journeys, which are always windy, not a straight line.
Thank you, Nani's family and friends and entire support group. It takes a village. Look at how many people you've brought together. Wow. You talked about awards. Tell me more about the award.
It was recently announced on Deadline that I have been named the best filmmaker of 2026 by New Filmmakers LA. I'm super thrilled and just so honored because New Filmmakers LA, an incredible organization. And we had our film screen at the festival last year. Comes with a cash grant, and the cash grant will go towards my next project.
Congratulations on the recognition. Congratulations on the grant towards your next project. Congratulations on your cast and crew joining you. You deserve that and so much more.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been such a pleasure talking to you. It's such a fun conversation.
Thank you so much for your time and for sharing your movie Shakti with me and the world. Thank you for everything and have a great day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.